Hello, lovely Soifua. Good morning to you all. Yeah, we're still waiting. Waiting. Every week, I think I'm going to save you from having to say all my ministries,
Yeah.
but no, another week comes around and I'm still a minister.
Well, let's keep on playing the waiting game. How was your week, Bob?
I had an excellent week here in Mana. It's just been a full-on sort of electric week, doing a lot of things throughout the area. Last night we had the Wellington Airport Community Awards. So every city council within the Wellington region gets to select community groups that have been doing really good things. And last night they come together for the big Wellington Awards, and a couple of my organisations within my area won an award. Ahuru Moai does work with children with special needs, high needs children, and they do a lot of physical activity to give their caregivers and parents a rest, and as well as the Whareroa Guardians Trust, who take care of a particular farm just north of Porirua,
Right.
so just to take care of the environment and to allow people to use it. So yeah, it was a really good night.
Okay. Barbara, there was an issue that I forgot to ask you last week. What do you think of the Act David Seymour in a referendum about the Treaty of Waitangi? What do you think about this?
I think it's going to be incredibly divisive, and it won't be helpful to relationships with tangata whenua. There's been a lot of commentary from people external to politics. For example, Dame and Salmond says the proposed principles of treaty referendum that David Seymour's putting actually bears no resemblance to the original treaty document. Helen Clark has come out saying it'll be divisive. Even Jim Bolger said it's a stupid idea. So, it's going to be interesting to see where the coalition agreement discussions get to and what the outcome of that will be, especially because I understand for ACT it's one of their key priorities. And, if that comes to being, there's going to be some really big discussions that are going to be need to made within our country, and we will obviously be wanting to have some clarity around it.
Right. Okay. Good news and bad news for Labour this week. The recounts, Mount Albert and Nelson, I think. Not a good news for Penny Henare.
Yeah, so Nelson and Mount Albert, the recounts happened. We got the results on Friday. Our MP there, Rachel Boyack, remains an MP. Mount Albert, in the middle of the week, that confirms that Helen White holds that seat for Labour with 18 votes. Unfortunately for our brother Penny Henare for Tamaki Makaurau, one of our Māori seats, didn't manage to win that seat on the recount because he was already down by 4 votes. But because Penny is quite high on our list, he's one of our most senior Māori MPs. He still remains in Parliament, so still becomes a huge advocate for Tamaki Makaurau and really for the rest of the country as well.
Okay, well, Barbara, you did mention earlier you're still the minister. Of course, you are still the minister of the Caretaker Government. Is that because the coalition government didn't come up with a solution after Friday last week?
Yeah, no, so until they have their coalition agreement, and until Christopher Luxon can go to the Governor-General, Dame Cindy Kiro, to say, I have the confidence of Parliament, I have the votes needed, so I am the Prime Minister, I am still a minister until a new minister is brought in for my portfolio. So until then, till the very moment I am the minister right until the pen is signed and they're sworn in.
Okay, so tell us, what happened to the Beehive this week?
And the Beehive this week, it's still very quiet because the coalition agreement discussions, I understand, are sort of in Auckland, or it was supposed to be in Wellington, but then it was in Auckland. So there's been a lot of activity on that side of the Parliament. For the Beehive, for me, as a caretaker minister, we still have briefings that we sign off. Obviously, if it's of a significant decision, we consult with the incoming government. But for me, there's a lot of business as usual sort of things that I have to sign off, such is citizenship applications. So when people ask the minister to grant them citizenship, it's obviously if it's something of particular significance, then I have the discretion to be able to push it through to the next minister to sign off, in case there's more information that's needed.
Yeah.
But so there's not that much happening in the Beehive because we're waiting for those coalition agreements to be made.
Okay. Did you hear something na ifa-fonga is ngayon no vaveo ye tulang coalition talk at the moment?
Yeah, no, just like the rest of the public, we're getting information through the media, such as yourselves and the prying eyes that are kind of, chasing them around. But for us here, as we move into opposition, we're obviously doing our work on our side for Labour, setting ourselves up for opposition as well.
Okay. Any idea why it took so long?
No idea.
Yeah.
It's longer than actually no, I do have a good idea. You're looking at 3 very strong-minded men, in particular one who's very experienced and 2 that are less experienced. So it's something that we've talked about a lot throughout the election campaign, that to be a coalition of chaos. It's taken them longer to come to an agreement than it did with Labour and Winston Peters, New Zealand First, and at the time they were negotiating with National as well, and it took a shorter time than this. So it's just interesting to see, and I think there was a poll that came out last night through Stuff that said that 60% of New Zealanders what's the word? I think disappointed that there hasn't been a government formed yet.
Oh, okay. Wellington 7th-day Adventist School lunches in school. How was it? And do you think the new government will continue with this?
Oh, I really hope so. So the Wellington 7th-day Adventist School, which is here in Porirua, they have a small school and they weren't applicable for the lunches in school, but I worked with them and they managed to get a review of that decision and they received their first lunches this week. The Labour government secured funding for the lunches in schools till 2024, so they've got another year to run. That'll be something that we will be watching like a hawk in next year's budget, May 2024, if that's in May, to see where the National Party will keep lunches in schools going, because we know, especially for people in Porirua and our schools in Porirua, South Auckland and our low decile areas or low income areas, that the lunches in schools really helps our families. For some of our families with 2 children, it can save them around $40 to $50 a week. So my hope is it does, but that's why we in opposition, we will fight for it and continue to advocate for our communities.
Yeah. Okay. Opportunity missed out for New Zealand because sa taon awayel incoming Prime Minister of New Zealand APEC but it's not because of the avalang priority the coalition talk. Do you think New Zealand is missed out with some to meet with some leaders of the world and trade as well?
With APEC is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation meeting. So Damien O'Connor is there at the moment representing New Zealand. And it's really important that we do have a presence at APEC because we are a nation in the Pacific and it's vital that we're at the table for those discussions. And Indo-Pacific economies drive a lot of economic growth for our region. So Damien O'Connor, who's a very experienced trade minister, is there representing New Zealand. But again, while the coalition is trying to figure out their agreement, they missed an opportunity for Christopher Luxon to go there and meet other key leaders across the region.
Okay, Barbara, to wrap up everything this morning, the Signature Choir is in Auckland today. Well, unfortunately, you're not there. I'm not there. My co-host on the other side are not there. We are not picked in that popular choir.
What are you trying to say?
We're not qualified. Our voices are not so good.
So the Mana Moana will join with, or Signature Choir will join with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra next Friday, the 24th, at Spark Arena. You can still get your tickets and you will be able to hear people that can sing and can sing beautifully. A number of them are from our area here in Mana. So I will be coming up to Auckland next week to support them. Okay. So it'll be a fantastic night because the concert that was here in Wellington was well received. And if you have a chance, please go get your tickets. They are from $20. It is worth it. Seeing our Pacific people absolutely smash it on a professional stage with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. So you still got time.
Yeah.
Still got time to practice your singing there, Tavai.
I'll try my best.
So do I every time.
Okay. Honorable Barbara Edmonds, Whawhetai Tele Lava, thank you so much for your time. Manuia lava nei aso, manuia for ile weekend.
Whawhataiti lava mole avanoa, and take care, everybody.
Whawhate lava le whionga le Tamatai Star Caretaker Government, Honorable Barbara Edmonds, Malitaranwanga nei whaitai